I hump and close my arms around Tea Cake's warmth, but she snuggles against me and drops to the floor, heading upstairs with her tail arrow straight. Curious that she'd leave the comfort of my lap and the warm fire, I look from her to Peg. He's apparently sound asleep, his scales gleaming red gold as he lies flat out on the mantelpiece. "Where are you going? Kitty?" I whisper, getting up and following her as she heads up the stairs. She glances over her shoulder at me with a small chirrup and walks purposely down the corridor to the old study. I follow her inside. It's cold in here and dark. The heavy curtains are drawn and there are cobwebs on the ceiling and draping from an old brass chandelier. "What are we doing in here?" I shiver, taking matches from the desk and stretching up to light the candles in the chandelier. They snap and fizz as the dust burns away and the flames cast a restless golden light over the room. "Tea Cake?" She gathers herself and launches up to the bookshelves in the furthest darkest corner, sending a load of dust swirling into the air. When it settles, she's sitting on the third shelf up. "Okay," I say. "That's the shelf, then. What am I going to find? Some tome on the best treats for small cats? A beginner's guide to fishing?" She swats her tail and narrows her eyes at me, then jumps down and settles on the worn leather chair behind the desk. I look at the shelf. Ladies of the Fae, The Lay of the Land, Protection of Fae Forests, Lessons on Blackthorn, Love and Lavender, a text on the properties of herbs in magic, The Lost Folk. I pull out The Lost Folk. It's newer than some of the books here. Its cover plain brown with the lettering picked out in copper. The spine creaks as I open it, and some of the pages are uncut. I scoop Tea Cake up and sit in the warm place she's made, settling her into my lap. The lost folk, those who have left, those who long to return. It seems to be mostly about extinct Fae creatures. It talks about lost habitats, changes in the air itself. I take the paper knife out of the pot on the desk and carefully break apart the uncut pages. They're handwritten in spiky black lettering. I flick through, my fingers moving over unfamiliar words, until I find it. Tea Cake was leading me straight here. The Lost Prince. When the Fae Queen succumbed to the plaga, shadows descended over Winterspell, and great change was wrought. The creatures who had known only peace were slow to realise the danger they were in, but once they saw how the shadows destroyed all they touched, they began to fight. Sometimes they won, and sometimes they lost, but always the shadows remained, for the old Fae King's mourning knew no bounds, and he hardly knew what he unleashed upon the world. Hidden in his cursed palace, locked away from all the Fae, he saw only his own grief. The Fae will fight for eternity for Winterspell. They need no hero, for they are all heroes living in that magical forest. But there are few who gleam with the moon's own light, and fewer still who can call upon the Fae King's heart. The child of the lost queen may just be the key in time. The lost prince will return when he is grown. He will find the palace, though this way is treacherous. He will face his father, and his arrival in Winterspell will herald both a new beginning and an end in time. "Oh, will it?" I mutter, stroking Tea Cake. "What a load of rubbish. It's no help at all. Nan made it up, after all. There's no lost prince." Tea Cake makes a questioning sound in the back of her throat, staring hard at me with her unblinking green eyes. And then she sticks her claws into my knee and starts to knead, purring. I tucked the book into my cardigan and picked her up, heading to my bedroom. What would it have been like to grow up in Winterspell like Yanni did, to truly be part of the Fae world? We did live there, once. If only I could remember.